I'm happy with LegalMatch in the sense that people are really in need of finding an advocate, somebody that's going to step up on their side of the coin and listen to what their side of the story is and make sure that it's, effectively or properly shared with the other party's attorney, or in sense of having a judicial officer who's basically making a judgment call in terms of awarding something to somebody, that sort of thing. It's going to be your best foot forward that you're putting forward, that sort of thing. But again, it's not like you always have to have an advocate. But again, a lot of times, I think a lot of people in this world tend to have a lot of access to websites. They can figure out how I can get on the web and I can figure out what the documents are that are supposed to be done. It's allowed me to have a lot more people seeking the assistance of LegalMatch related people, including professional individuals like myself. The only question that I have is sometimes I'm more of a one-man show. I don't have a secretary, I don't have a receptionist, I don't have a paralegal. And I think sometimes people think that we're just going to call your office and you're always going to answer the phone and you're going to talk to me, that sort of thing. And I think that's more of a conflict of exactly what you can or can't do. I'm not always in the office. I could be in court. I could be trying to drive to a location which is a little bit away from my office in terms of making a court appearance, that sort of thing. And people need to handle leaving a message for somebody in a very cognitive, straightforward sort of way. I like it in the sense that it's very consistent and repetitive, in the sense that I always have a few LegalMatch referrals or things sent to my office on a daily sort of basis. I do my best to basically send a reply anytime an inquiry is basically answered to me. A lot of times, after I send that reply, maybe when I have any time in the next 4 to 6 hours, that sort of thing, I actually even do a follow-up telephone call with regard to that person. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. But again, sometimes I can talk to message machines, and basically I leave a message for somebody, and then sometimes people just go on their own sort of way, and basically they don't even give you a response to say, no, thank you, we're not interested, we've done something else, that sort of thing. I probably get at least 3 to 5 daily. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you that as a fixed number. I'd say it's more like about 50-50, in the sense that basically they're not immediately, they don't immediately become current clients, or they don't immediately come something with regard to as, yeah, I want to get the appointment. Can you talk to me this afternoon and we get started tomorrow, that sort of thing. Sometimes there's more limitations in terms of when you can schedule a face-to-face with somebody, when they can come into your office. You can see some of the paperwork. You can outline some of the financial aspects of exactly signing a consultation agreement. One of the things I've heard, and again, this is part of what the problem because of COVID-19 is, we've been looking for there to be a little bit better economic recovery in the United States or in California. It was up and down. I mean, I think a lot of times people were not thinking very much about what is or what could be done. They're just trying to think of which now new opportunity am I going to be allowed or given by. And I think that sometimes the intentions for LegalMatch was to basically put all your cards on the table, in the sense of basically, let's talk about the legal issues exclusively. Let's not talk about how happy or how unhappy you are with the President of the United States, the governor of a state, city councilman, that sort of thing. If you want to be depressed about every day, you can just watch the news, in terms of exactly what's good or what's bad about that sort of thing. But again, LegalMatch is more of an alternative, which is being provided to people in the sense that, hey, we're going to give you access to a legal professional who has a little bit of experience doing this sort of thing. It's the constants, it's the repetition, there will always be a few of those alternatives waiting on the table for me on a daily sort of basis. I only say that in the sense that I'm a sole practitioner. A lot of times we just have people who come and just knock on the door and they say, "Oh, you're an attorney. Hey, I need an attorney." And the bottom line is we're not essentially professionally in existence just to basically hand free legal advice out to anybody and everybody. I mean, if you really think that you have a desire or a need to retain some sort of an advocate or somebody who's professionally experienced in handling the sort of claims between parties and an issue like that kind of thing, and that's exactly what LegalMatch does. And that's what I've asked LegalMatch a couple of times, just to tell them that basically it's important to basically not just like everybody and his brother sign up for a LegalMatch and say, "Hey, I get free legal advice." Not really, in the sense that I was not very involved with other lead generating sort of systems. It was more like I was a Bakersfield boy in the sense that a lot of fellow professionals knew me. I'd see them in the courthouse, or they'd see me at the store, or they'd see me at some sort of public event, that kind of stuff. That was more of the informal referral business. Basically, just be willing to step up to the plate and do the best job you can. But basically, remember, everything's not just going to be handed to you. It's going to be an inordinate number of opportunities or potential chances for you to meet with somebody who needs to employ you or needs to involve you sharing your legal experience or your legal wherewithal with them to basically give you a little bit more of a economic, positive business, scenario in terms of getting a little bit more business. Think about it in the sense of even referrals. I talk about the referrals that I had as before I was, associated with LegalMatch in terms of just Bakersfield referrals. Those are okay, but those are sometimes not guaranteed. That's the difference in networking in terms of just being at a certain place, certain time, and talking to the right kind of people. That's exactly what LegalMatch solves as a potential dilemma. I tell them that that's a guaranteed opportunity to basically find some of that potential new legal work that's out there. And again, it has to do with a little bit more in terms of family law, that sort of thing. When you're a new attorney, it depends on exactly what sort of portion of the law you want to go out to start practicing. And you're not going to practice anything for free. You're not going to practice anything for pro bono. You're going to basically want to see or have greater access to people that are on the request side or in the know, in the sense, I need to find a potential legal representative that I can retain. It's going to basically support me in terms of what my position is on certain issues. And the burden comes down to even the new person in terms of you got to do a little bit more knowledge and investigation on your own. You have to know a little bit more about the actual court system in and of itself. You have to know exactly how certain attorneys in the same community or in the same sense of practice handle matters like that. It's not like you're going to just spend your time on a daily basis talking to all the other family law attorneys or their offices or their paralegals or their secretaries or sending documents back and forth. You have to basically be in the know, not only inside of your own heart and your own mind, to understand exactly how you could best offer your legal services to be a positive advocate for somebody who's seeking legal assistance.